So 2 years ago, I saw this picture online of a person who grew an avocado tree from a seed, and I decided to try the same myself. And I put toothpicks through an avocado seed. There's an actual detailed guide online that shows you how to do this. It's super easy, and I actually was able to grow an avocado tree from this seed. And I decided to apply the same science to other things like onions or green onions, and I was actually able to grow food from this as long as you switch out the water every other day or every day to keep the roots healthy. And I did the same thing with lettuce, and I was actually able to grow edible lettuce from this. And it's such a great testament to being able to grow things from food scraps. And I did the same with garlic as well. So today's mission is going to be planting this garlic clove into this bucket with all of these other beautiful magical things that are growing right now. And then I need to plant these two celery butts into the ground, and I'm gonna use some banana peels from a banana I just ate, and I'm gonna put it underneath the soil. So let's see what happens. So after a few days, maybe about a week or so, my garlic clove sprouted and I planted it inside. And the same thing can be applied to celery. You can actually grow celery from just the stalks. And here you can see my husband, he's making a beautiful place for my tomato bush to grow inside of. We are just repurposing sticks from the yard to hold this thing up. And as far as natural pesticides, there are so many different kinds of natural pesticides that you can use, like ladybugs. You can purchase them online, or you can get chickens or diatomaceous earth to get rid of your pests. So I went to the store one time and I got this rosemary clipping. It was just a small twig, and I decided to regrow it with my basil and my oregano. I've applied the same method for all of them, where I just put them in water and watch it grow. And it's really cool to see that you're actually able to grow things just from clippings from the store. I did the same with my pothos, as you can see. And I want to ask you, is regrowing plants from store-owned clippings actually theft or an act of rebellion against capitalism? Because I've begun to realize that if one living organism can't be owned, neither should any. And so I apply the same method for regrowing anything with even my sweet potatoes. As you can see, I'm taking them out of this dry and dark cupboard where they're able to sprout. And I collected a bunch of twigs and leaves to put in the bottom of my soil to act as fertilizer. Sometimes I put compost in there. Then I put the soil on top, and I put my potatoes in there. And they're able to grow in such a short time. And sometimes I collect seeds from food scraps, and I store them in leftover foil pieces. And oftentimes bigger seeds need to be dried in the sun. But if you don't want to collect seeds from your food scraps, you can always buy them in these pouches. And I always prefer to get heirloom, organic, non-GMO seeds, just because it's the best kind that will produce healthy plants for you in the future. And as you can see here, I'm planting my carrot seeds in here. I bought these seeds from the store, and I'm measuring the distance between the seeds with my thumb. And I actually realized now afterwards that I put way too many seeds in one hole. So you really have to be mindful of this as well if your seeds are tiny. Otherwise it's going to end up like this, where several weeks later when I'm trying to harvest my carrots, I'm noticing that way too many of them grew close together, and now I don't have full-grown carrots. I have these small bite-sized ones because they grew too close together, which is totally fine because I can still eat the carrot tops. Those are so healthy and they're so good for you, and I'm gonna be eating them with these baby carrots together. And if you want to use different planting materials, you can always use plastic cups, you can use egg cartons, berry cartons, milk cartons, toilet paper rolls, popsicle sticks, or straws for labeling. You can really utilize anything that you find at home to regrow things. There's no need to purchase things from the store. You can use these beautiful salad containers that have a dome, and as you can see here, I'm using egg cartons. And it's really a great way to hold that moisture in when you have a dome. It's almost like a mini greenhouse. And as you can see here in this clip, I am separating my seedlings. Some people like to actually throw seedlings away, but I like to separate them very gently and plant them in these cups. I usually burn a hole in the cup with a lighter, or you can just use a nail to put a hole through these cups so that water can go through. And before I plant anything, I like to put compost at the bottom of my pots. Like I mentioned before, I like to use things such as banana peels or any kind of food scraps that I might find. Sometimes I also put animal bones in the freezer and I bury them frozen into the ground next to my plant's roots, with as much space as possible from the roots. And this is so nice and nourishing for my plants. So as you can see here, this is the progress that we have now from my sweet potato and my red potato or purple potato that I planted in here. These are the shoots, and you can actually use these leaves as like a stir fry or some part of your salad. But yeah, these have grown so much within just a few weeks. And if we go through all of this and we go back here, we can see that there are my garlic shoots. And the reason why I planted my garlic in here as well was because I knew that they would be fine growing together. So the garlic is here, and the reason why I planted the garlic in here with the potatoes was because garlic grows in ground and it doesn't really need that much up top. It's just an experiment to see if they grow well together, but I can't wait to harvest these. I can't harvest them right now. Potatoes usually grow for like 6 months or something like that in ground, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. And over here you can see more garlic shoots over here. As you can see, it has like a strong stem and the leaves are growing. It's really strong in there. So I can tell that there's a bulb in there, but I don't know when to harvest these. So I'm gonna have to test it out at some point. But yeah, in the meantime, before harvesting potatoes, if you're wondering, you can still eat these greens. They're full of nutrients, even more so than the potatoes themselves. And yeah, this is the progress. And our soil is not that great. It's very sandy, so I had to mix it with store-bought soil. I always use organic soil because if I'm gonna, grow organic food, I might as well use organic soil as well. Something that's not riddled with pesticide. Okay, let's look at the next plants. Hello, wonderful people. I wanted to show you a short tour of my garden. While it's super sunny, as you can see, I'm like covering up my eyes. But I started growing food here in Florida 2 years ago when I moved, and I'm living on my father-in-law's land. So some of these plants are things that he's grown himself, and some of these I've grown myself. But as you can see here to my left, this is something that he planted. It's a moringa tree, and it doesn't have many leaves right now because we're just at the end of spring season. But when it does have a lot of leaves, it's just beautiful. It's bushy, and it's a very skinny tree. If none of you are familiar with the moringa, it is the superfood of all plants. If you don't want to grow anything else, and if you have a hard time figuring out what to grow, moringa is the way to go, okay? Moringa kind of looks like a sad little plant because it's so skinny, but it has these amazing pods up top that are filled with these peas. You can squeeze the peas and make an oil out of them, like an anti-aging beauty oil, or you can use it to even purify your water. So the moringa can actually be consumed from like the whole thing. So the leaves, the flowers, the pods, the whole thing. I think even the bark can be chewed on if you wanted to. But it's so healthy, and it has all of your essential amino acids. So the moringa tree really is a humble plant because it doesn't require much water, it doesn't require much nutrition. It has actually been grown in some of the nutrient deficit areas around the world, communities that don't have a lot of food deserts, but also communities that have a hard time growing food. So moringa can actually be grown in those areas. So let's look at our other stuff. So this is our pineapple plant. It needs a little bit of weeding, as do most of our plants. We've been so busy with our baby. This is the biggest issue that farmers have, weeding their plants. This will take so many hours and hours for you to do, literally every couple weeks or every week. But the pineapple is still thriving, it's still growing. We have another fully grown pineapple up in the front, which I'm going to show you later on. This is our coconut tree. It's bouncing back after the cold winter. It lost all of its leaves and it was really dry. It was a dry season, but now it's growing back up. So yeah, it looks a little bit sad right now, but I can't wait for it to grow even more. And we have a few of these over here on this line. I have a cantaloupe growing here, a cantaloupe baby. And it's actually, it loves to attach itself onto other plants. As you can see, cantaloupe is like a vine, so it actually loves to grow up against other things. As you can see, it's growing on this weed right now. So I'm gonna have to build something taller than this trellis here. I'm probably gonna have to put like a nice fence for it to grow up against. And here is another cantaloupe here. That's also doing really well. And all of these cantaloupes I grew from seed. And the coconut trees were actually grown by my father-in-law. He put an actual coconut in the ground and it started growing. Now let's go over here. Oh, I just walked into a spider web. Oh my gosh. Anyways, this one is my oregano. Oregano is such a strong medicinal plant. If you've seen oregano oil being sold in the stores, you know how much it costs and how strong and potent it can be. I put some homegrown mulch or just some dry leaves and branches I put onto the dirt like this, so it keeps the water in the dirt, it keeps it moisturized when you put mulch. But also it's a great way to use as a fertilizer for your plants. Plants love when you use dry ingredients like dry leaves or dead grass, and they also love when you use green materials like actual live plants. You can chop these leaves up and put it as mulch, and it's a great way to, you know, keep the moisture in the soil and help it be nutritious. But I actually grew that oregano from a seedling. So that's really cool. It was much bigger before, but I harvested some, so that's why it's smaller now. This one is my mint bush. It grows like a weed, so if you're interested in growing mint, be careful because they actually grow like a weed. But everything on my land is grown organically. I don't use any chemical pesticide. This one is my kale. It's much smaller now than before because I harvested some. I did not grow this from seed. I bought it from the store. But it looks really nice. These are my carrots. I'm gonna have to harvest some of these. I have multicolored carrots that I planted from the previous clips, as you might have noticed. And now, this one is my cilantro. Now, as you can see here, all of the plants that you're growing will eventually grow flowers, and if you allow these flowers to dry up in the sun, they'll produce seeds. As you can see here, this is my mint bush that I grew from a seedling. It's now huge, but much smaller than before harvested. But I just usually like to wait until the seeds dry up in the sun, and then I harvest these seeds and I plant them back into the soil, and it keeps recycling. It's like the circle of life. But yeah, cilantro used to be big and bushy. I can't wait for it to grow back up again. This is my tomato. It is huge. It grows really, really fast, and I grew this from seed. I got a seed paper that had tomato seeds inside and I planted it, so it's really fun. This is my first time growing tomatoes, so it's been a fun experiment for me. And this is where I have my cantaloupe.
My other baby cantaloupe, it's already growing flowers, as you can see. Thanks to the bees, we have so many beautiful pollinators here. All of our stuff is flowering super fast. As you can see from the carrots, they're letting me know that, hey, we need to be harvested. This is harvesting week. So I'm gonna have to harvest these this week. They're already flopping to the side and they're changing color. But yeah, I'm gonna have to harvest these. These carrot greens are really good as a salad. You can eat them just as is. Oh yeah, tastes really good. This is papaya. And this is also papaya. Papaya is shaped like the womb, and it's a really good way to remember that the papaya actually nourishes the womb a lot. If you look at the papaya fruit, it's shaped like the womb. A lot of people grow papaya here in Florida because it's so easy to grow. But as you can see, it's super dry out here. Our grass is like literally dead. It's so hot, so we're not really interested in watering our grass. We like to water our plants more, so that's why our grass never looks good. So here is more cantaloupes here. I grew them from seed. This is another one. Oh no! Let's see here if we can help this one get back up. There. So they love to grow on things. This is another cantaloupe. Look at the beautiful flower. Oh my gosh, so pretty. They're growing so fast. That's wonderful. This one is my dragon fruit tree. It has been dying out right now. I have to say we need to take care of it more. But I planted my placenta in there and it started producing flowers for the first time ever. But it's getting attacked by ants. As you can see, like it has all these dry parts. So we kind of have to save this dragon fruit tree. And there are a bunch of weeds in here as well. But yeah, we have a horrible problem with ants on our land. There are way too many ants. We're gonna have to take care of that. Anyways, here is our other plant. Beautiful, beautiful soursop tree. It's just now growing back its leaves. As you can see, soursop is such a medicinal plant. Not only does it grow fruits, but you can also use the leaves to make tea, or you can use it as a poultice for, you know, insect bites or literally anything. So it's a tall tree, and once the leaves grow back up, it's going to be bushy and beautiful. And as you can see in the bottom, we don't really move these dead leaves off because this can also be used as fertilizer. So whenever the leaves fall back down, it's great fertilizer and it keeps the weeds from growing. As you can see, there are no weeds growing around this tree because of all this natural mulch. So if you don't want to purchase mulch, that's a great way of saving money. Now let's move on to the next one. So this one over here is our pomelo plant. It grows these huge citrus fruits and it's very spiky. And here we have store-bought mulch in the bottom that's red, and it's been keeping the weeds away for a long time. As you can see, now there's like one weed growing here, but it keeps them away for a long time. And we put this mulch here like a few months ago, so it takes a while for the weeds to grow when you put mulch in. There. And then this one here on the side. So this one here is an Ecuadorian passion fruit. I don't remember the name right now, but it's beautiful. The flowers are so fragrant. They smell beautiful and very intoxicating. Oh, stunning. It's a huge bush, and my father-in-law grew this in a way where we could have a beehive underneath. So it's actually right now resting on top of a wooden frame. So hopefully we can have bees underneath and they can just pollinate this whole thing. But we've been able to harvest a few fruits from this one and they were so delicious. I might insert a picture of the passion fruit that I ate right here so you see what it looks like. It was so delicious. So as you can see, all of this stuff can be used as natural mulch. You know, twigs, sticks, anything that you can find. You just break it apart, you throw it in there, and your plants will love it. So this one is called a sugar apple, and all of these names have been taught to me by my father-in-law. Most of these plants were grown by him. Now I just tend to them. But this one is a beautiful tree. It used to be much shorter, like up to here when I moved, and now it's much taller. This one hasn't yielded any fruits yet, but I can't wait to harvest some in the future. And yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful tree. This one is our beautiful starfruit tree. We've actually been able to harvest dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of starfruits from this ever since we moved. And oh my gosh, the starfruit flowers are so stunning. They're beautiful pink, and we get these amazing starfruits. Right now, obviously it's late spring, so we'll be having starfruits hopefully at the end of this year. We also had an avocado tree, but that one died up real quick. We realized from avocado trees that they require, it was about like 300 liters of water to actually produce one avocado. So we realized that having an avocado tree was not fruitful for us. It was not profitable, but it is growing one baby avocado on the side, as you can see. We don't know if we still want to keep taking care of this avocado, to be honest, because it's not profitable for us to put a ton of water for an avocado tree just to produce one avocado. And also, pro tip for anybody who's interested in growing avocados, you have to make sure that your avocado has another avocado tree, because it cross-pollinates, so it needs 2 or more. And also you need to make sure that one of those is a male and the other one is a female, because in this, you know, in nature, there's always the male and the female, and they need to cross-pollinate with each other to produce fruit. So we don't really know if this is male or female, but it's been a fun experiment to see how avocado trees grow. It used to be much bushier, but because once again the dry season really killed this one. So let's go to the next one. We used to have way more aloe vera, but then I gave some to my father-in-law. We actually weeded this out like 2 weeks ago, but then the weeds grow so fast, as you can see. But yeah, if we put some of the weeds back, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 aloe vera plants growing together. They're all kind of muddled close, but so aloe vera is actually good for many different things. You can put it topically on your skin to relieve any skin issues like burns from the sun, or cuts and different things, abrasions. And then you can also ingest aloe vera. If you put aloe vera gel in your smoothie, it actually helps to clear out any of the parasites that you might have in your gut. It has so many nutrients, so it's super healthy for you. If you're interested, grow aloe vera, because it's almost like a cactus. It doesn't need that much to grow, so it's super easy to grow as long as you give it plenty of sunlight. As you can see, there's sunlight coming from above. So yeah, we've been getting a lot of aloe vera, and when I was sick with the flu, I took ginger and aloe vera smoothies, and I was like good the next day. So yeah, we love aloe vera. Only downside is that the gel smells really, really, really bad. It smells like dirty socks. But if you're able to overcome the smell, aloe vera can really be good for you internally and externally as well. Here we have our mint bush. So if you're interested in natural chewing gum, all you need is mint. So good. So good for you. Super healthy, good for indigestion, freshens up your breath, and it's a great way to add flavor to baby food as well. If you're interested in natural herbs, this is good. Oregano, basil, stuff like that. My baby loves mint, and it's really great for your bees too. But as you can see, it grows like a weed. I trimmed it, but it's already growing, so I'm gonna have to trim it even more. But growing mint at home is a great way to also connect with your friends and family. You can always share your stuff with them. Everybody always knows whenever they visit, you will get a handful of mint when you leave. And here we have our beautiful pineapple. So we have a pineapple growing right now, and we harvested another pineapple a few years ago. But this pineapple should be able to be harvested in maybe the next month or so. Usually organic produce doesn't grow to be huge in size because it's not GMO, but it has so much flavor. And you can actually use the pineapple peels and the core to make juice or tea. So if you boil it with water for a long time, you add some honey and some ginger, and it's a great drink that you can have for even the summertime. Hi, lizard! Keep an eye on all the pests, okay? This lizard knows that it's not going to get near this pineapple fruit. Pineapple is actually one of the foods out there in commercial agriculture that doesn't get sprayed with a lot of pesticide, because as you can see from the pineapple skin, you know, it's very prickly. So bugs usually don't like to eat it. But you have to be careful. Once your pineapple becomes super ripe, it starts smelling fragrant, and that's when you might be able to attract pests like raccoons and stuff like that. They might be able to eat it. But pineapple is really good to grow. If you're interested in organic farming, pineapple is really awesome. Now we have last ones over here, our pomegranate. These ones haven't been producing fruits yet, but we're hoping that soon. And we have another one over here. This one has lost most of its leaves because we're at the end of the spring season. This dragonfly knows what's up. Hey, dragonfly!
All of the weeds and cleaning
but yeah, we haven't been able to
we
harvest any fruits yet, but I'm hoping soon. Once we buy the cow manure, it should be able to help all of our plants to produce more fruits. And then behind me, as you can see, this one used to be a lot prettier before, but now the flowers have died. This is the leaf of life. The tree of life we had in the backyard, as you guys saw, moringa tree is called the tree of life, but this is the leaf of life, or otherwise known as the money leaf. So this item grows like a weed. As you can see, it's literally taking over this whole area. But these leaves are so good. If you break them down in a mortar and pestle, and you make a poultice out of it, you can help with skin issues, cuts, whatever. This can also be boiled down, and you can make like a hot compress from this. But mind you, with all the viral infections that we have going on, leaf of life, if you make a warm compress from this, put it on your chest, and you're able to remove all of the mucus that you have in your chest. So this is really good to know, especially during these COVID times. You know, we need to know what's going to help us heal our bodies. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks so much, guys, for watching my little garden tour. And like I said, I've only been gardening for 2 years now, ever since I moved to Florida. And I've been learning as I go, and I really want to share the information that I learned with you guys, so hopefully you might learn something from this. But it's been such a fun experience, trial and error. And if you ever feel like you're failing at something in gardening, you can always try again. Because different circumstances, different times, always call for different measures. You never know, something might work for you. But yeah, there's an even bigger garden at my father-in-law's place. And unfortunately, we haven't gotten a chance to go there yet. But it's really beautiful. There are chickens growing there, and there's water as well. But you can definitely make this happen. You don't even need as much space as we do, and you don't need that much time to garden. It can be really easy in such a small space as well. But I wish you tons and tons of luck in your gardening journey. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next lessons that are happening after this clip. And yeah, send me some love on Instagram as well, @thegirlwithcurls. I would love to check out your gardening adventures as well. If you guys have any questions, or if you need advice, or if you want to offer me advice, please send me a DM in my Instagram and we can chat some more. But I need to go because this sun is really hot, as you can see. Bye, sun! We're gonna go to the AC indoors. It is way too hot out here. Peace out, guys.